Not long ago, building an online course meant months of work, templates, formatting, endless back and forward. Today, you can do it with a prompt. In this episode of In Focus, my guest is Travis Clapp, co-founder and CEO of Coursebox AI, the platform that turns course creation into a conversation with an AI that designs, builds, and even tutors your learners for you. Alongside co-founder Alex Hay, Travis has taken Coursebox AI from a scrappy idea to a tool used by training organizations across 180 countries. Today, we get into how AI is reshaping instructional design and where the AI train is headed next. Let's get into it. It's been now 12 years that you have been putting your heart and soul into Coursebox AI and started with instructional design. What was the moment that you and Alex realized that the existing tools for instructional design just wasn't cutting it?
Well, it took a long time to really solidify the idea of rapid authoring. And at first we were like, oh, maybe we should build a kind of Canva for course creation. Because you're right, it's just so painful. You're not here to build a course. You're here to deliver an outcome for a learner. And if you end up just spending all your time building the actual content and not actually engaging your learner and getting some measured results, then that's just getting in the way. And so I remember over the years, I was trying to templatize it and all these different ways of streamlining or, step process. The first thing we had was a step-by-step process. But in the end, with the advent of AIs like GPT, Claude, and now Coursebox, we're very much at the forefront of that. So it looks like any other AI tool now. You just type in your prompt and we do the rest. And it goes right through to build the course and deploy. And like it's agentic. I like this agentic orchestration concept, right? So it's not just doing what instructional designers can do, because arguably tools like Claude can do that. So that's just a tiny, tiny part of what we do. It's the delivery. So we have chatbot tutoring and mentoring and coaching throughout. It's personalized to the learner. We have the AI grading, so we save so much time and effort. If you have to imagine, I used to have to mark huge essays en masse. And if you can at least get 80, 90% of that workload done for you against the rubric, then you go in and bring your expertise to deliver the last 10, 20%. That's a more meaningful use of my time as a lecturer. So I can use my time more wisely and help scale up the company in many of the instances, because we work with a lot of training organizations, and that this really helps them scale up their operations more effectively.
I've been playing with it, and like you said, you need to have your human element behind it to understand what exactly it's putting out there.
Yeah.
It takes away a lot of the groundwork. This is the second version of the Coursebox AI, right? What does it actually do? Because I'm a trainer, I have my PDFs, I have all my materials, and I'm ready now to create my course.
Some of the biggest differences between 1 and 2, the first version, it was very formulaic and templated in structure. So you'd have sections, learning content, quiz, assignment, and then it would be quite structured in that way. Now we enable the AI to make a lot of the instructional decisions for you, and then you can keep refining that through chat. So it's very chat-centric in approach, and will sort of hide away a lot of the complexity. But then if you're a more advanced instructional designer, then you can open those up. So basically, let's say you've got a 3-page document or a chapter, you want to turn that into a course. There's a few ways to do it, right? One way is, I know what I'm doing. I've written the content, don't change it. So with 2.0, you can actually do that. You can upload a PDF or a Word document and just say, don't change this, just make it beautiful and add some assessments and add in some videos, but don't rewrite my content. So that's a big change. We didn't have that feature before, and a lot of people wanted that or expected it. The other way you might want to do it is, I've got 10 documents, but I haven't written the course. Like you still need to write the course, and you need to structure it and help me design it. So we really help you design it. A lot of people stay on that step, on the structuring step, and where am I going to put the most complex interaction? Why? And you start from the objectives and you work backward, or you use an ADDIE framework or something like that for a gap analysis, and we help you measure the results. So it's really simple. Just upload a document, put in your prompt, hit go, and then you move to the design step, and then suddenly the course is built, and you just type in an email address and you can start registering your learners, or you can sell it. We've got a holistic e-commerce approach. You can integrate it into your website, into Shopify, WordPress, into your LMS. We're one of the only learning management systems, a holistic delivery solution, as an LMS that you can sit inside another LMS. So now we're working with partners, because a lot of the time clients have an SAP or a Blackboard and they just can't change it. It's just impossible, or it would take 10 years of whatever. So we can just superpower your LMS.
Superpower your LMS. That sounds pretty good. So let's say I'm an organization, right? And I'm using Moodle. How can I use Moodle with Coursebox AI?
Yeah, the simplest way is, let's say you've got 10 PDFs, you want to turn them into courses. Okay, 10 minutes later, you've got 10 fully built, highly interactive courses in Coursebox. Publish it, export it as SCORM. Now, you can have it running as a SCORM from Coursebox inside your LMS, 100% the same, including all the bells and whistles and AI and chatbot tutors and everything. So an hour later, you've got 10 courses inside Moodle running at a very highly engaged sort of engagement level. That's one way. But we've also got standalone SCORM. So if you have to sever the tie and you can't have it, we offer that now as well. Or if you go deeper, you want deep grading with an LTI 1.3, there's all sorts of things you can do. So there's some sort of fancy acronyms, right? There's API, there's LTI, there's SCORM, SCRM. But through those deeper pathways, you can just superpower your LMS. So one way to do that with some of our clients is they'll use the API and single sign-on for their administrators, so that they'll have a special button in their Moodle that says, for their admins, they can just click that, analyze the skill gap, upload a document, build the course, and bang, it appears in Moodle. And then learners won't know the difference. It'll just be like any other course inside Moodle, and they're already logged in, so off they go. So that's how you can really superpower it. And at the moment, in the next 3 weeks, we're releasing deep grading. So if you've got 10 assignments within that course, that's going to be pushing into your grade book in your Moodle or your LMS. Yeah.
If someone, a trainer like me or an organization, wants to try Coursebox AI, is there any feature or is there something, a trial that people can go in and jump in and they can try themselves?
Yeah, we've got a freemium model, which seems a little bit crazy sometimes, but you can go and try it for free. You can build your first 3 courses. You get a certain amount of AI credits for those 3 courses, but then you can continue manually building it out if you want. But if you want more AI credits and you want all the super features, upgrade to the creator, but it's still only $50 for the month, and then go month to month or go yearly. And then if you want, you can upgrade to Pro. Now on Pro, you get your own domain name and your own installation, private database and all that. So that's really our target market. But there's free ways, there's low cost ways, there's a creator plan or hobbyist even. And then you can go to Pro anytime. And then you can just buy per seat. How many admins do you have? Yeah, or right up to enterprise. We've got some clients in the States, 100,000 staff around the world, and it's delivering through Coursebox, sitting inside their platform in all sorts of different languages around the world all the time.
It looks like a Coursebox that has a genie inside of it and makes your life as a trainer so much easier. You just have to type in the prompt and voila, there it is, and you can start working with it. And it's very hard for somebody to grasp the idea that this actually exists now, because it hasn't been long. Right? I want to get you back in 2020, 2021, I think. ChatGPT came out. What was your first reaction at that?
I was like, thank God I can finally do what I want to do. So for about a year or two before that, I was saying to Alex, probably about a year before GPT 3.5 came out, I said, what we should do is build an algorithm that takes a document, rips it out, copy and paste very carefully, very cleverly, puts all your images in, builds a, and it was actually really hard to do. And I was like, maybe there's some sort of AI out there, but there wasn't. And it was going to be prohibitively expensive. But we started doing it, and then this came out, and we're like, I called Alex. I'm like, oh my God, we can actually do what we wanted to do. But what was nice, we were right at the forefront. Nobody was doing AI course creation, so we managed to become number 1 on Google for AI course creation. We've stayed up, the top few, often top 1 around the world. And it's in every language. It's in Arabic, it's in French, and that's another thing that we do that I think is really important, and a lot of competitors don't do this, which is right from your website, right through to prompting, building the course, the platform itself, to the delivery for your learners. Everything's in your language. So if it's in Arabic, it writes from right to left. So we do videos as well, the avatar training videos, the PowerPoint to video, that's all in your language, in your dialect, and you've got a lot of flexibility.
Me as a trainer, I'm using a lot of these AI tools. What's the difference? Why should I choose Coursebox AI instead of going to Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, and start building it from there? Why would I choose Coursebox AI?
You can try everything, and I try it all the time as well. I said to somebody yesterday, in fact, it might have been this morning, I said, I use Claude obsessively. It's really good for a lot of things, and it automates a lot of my outreach emails and checks in with support tickets and pulls in data. When I get it to build a course, every course is quite different. It's very hard to control the settings for that and replicate it. And then it's still just this sort of static, not great course. There's no interaction. There's no tutor in there. There's no auto grading. There's no LMS. There's no back-end functionality and reporting and data analytics. So I get this sort of 1% version of Coursebox each time, but I want the other 99%. So yeah, absolutely try out all the products you can. And we're doing an integration, specifically with Claude, as they've created this MCP where you can just type in, build me 10 Coursebox courses, and here's my documents, here's the research, bang, Coursebox will action those 10 requests in our e-learning format.
When I'm interacting with Coursebox AI, with the chat, it looks like, I get the feeling sometimes it looks like Claude. It looks like as I go into Claude, it
We
just
all look very
returns back
similar.
the same thing.
Claude, GPT, Coursebox, it's all very similar, right? It's just prompt-based, keep it minimal, chat through what you need, and that's really the simplest way through, I think. We tried some other options. We were like, maybe it should be a 4-step process. So that was Coursebox 1. Now we're up to Coursebox 2.1, which is very exciting. 2.2 is underway, which is going to be really deep settings. So let's say you only want a video course. So you can literally just say, and we'll build out every single avatar video in every page. It might be a bit credit intensive.
What about the skeptics? What about the people that say, well, if it's AI, it's not done by a human, why should I trust it?
Yeah, I think trust is really important. So in the early works, we made sure, and it will always be a term and condition, that your IP goes in, it's protected, it's secure, and what you create, it's your IP, it's protected, it's secure, right? So you need to check it, make sure you validate it, and then publish it. But the next layer on that, which we're working on at the moment, and this should be part of 2.2 release, is referencing. So if you've uploaded a document and it's pulling information out of page 17, it should have a little hyperlink. You can click on find out, validate where that came from. Same thing, if it doesn't, obviously we're using GPT 5.4 behind the scenes at the moment to write content, and another model to do the images, and another model to do the videos. So we're picking and choosing from the best. But we're going to go deeper. So if the existing knowledge base of GPT isn't really good enough to talk about the advanced thermodynamics that we're talking about, and we want a little bit more evidence, we're going to reach out and create sources and reference those. So that's going to give you a lot more to validate against. So I think transparency is critical. We were talking to a major publishing house yesterday, actually, about that, and they said, yeah, that's absolutely crucial, and a lot of people overlook it. We love what Perplexity does. They often reference, or if you go into GPT with deep research mode, it'll reference, and that's where we're moving with Coursebox as well.
So we always still need to have our human contact. We still need to have the guardrails of us looking over what AI is doing and cross-reference it before we actually publish it out there.
Yeah, to a degree, or at least, yes. I think it's important if you're publishing, putting your name on something, to just double check that you're absolutely happy with what you've produced.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think that's important. Yeah, and actually, I was talking to our accountant just yesterday, and he said, "What's interesting? I've been using Claude obsessively to help me with this, and it's been speeding up what I do. But I've actually learned my own value again as a human, bringing in my knowledge and my skills. Yes, I can do all this at scale faster, but Yeah, I think that's a really important point. I've been finding that as well. So it's actually that last bit of work you do to check it and look at each page and what do I bring? What are my skills as a trainer? Because I've been in the industry, and it'll save you a hell of a lot of time. But at the end of the day, I am definitely bringing something as a trainer to what this is helping me do.
I want to bring you back to our backyard. And when I say our backyard, I want to bring you back to our RTO land and
Mm.
ASQA and AVETMIS and all of the
Yeah.
units of competency that we have in our TGA, training.gov.au, right?
Yeah.
They operate under strict compliance. It's a lot
Mm.
of ticking the box, making sure that you're doing the right thing. ASQA will come in and check to see that we are providing quality training.
Yeah.
Does Coursebox accommodate for that, or is it more suited for corporate L&D?
We've actually done a highly specialized piece of work. It took 9 months of work actually as a sub project within Coursebox to specialize in Australian RTO units of competency packages, e-learning and face-to-face. And I believe we're the only company on the planet that does this. And it's a little bit of a secret. We've got to get it out a bit more than we do. And we do work with quite a few RTOs. And what's really interesting about this is you can just copy one of the thousands of units of competency links from the government website, use Coursebox, paste it in, just select RTO in Australia, paste in the link, and we do the rest. So let's say we get you 90% of the way to compliance within 10 minutes. So we'll build a package with 5 documents. It's got a mapping document. It's all the stuff I used to do at open colleges as an instructional designer, and working with other RTOs in that space. So you have to have the mapping spreadsheet. You have to have some sort of PowerPoint if you're doing face-to-face component. You've got to have the assessment documentation, the learner guide, and the learner assessment document. So we produce all of that. Now, yeah, we say it takes about 10 minutes. Might take up to half an hour, but still you're saving, 3 months? So there's that. And then the next layer is we'll build an e-learning as well. And as usual with all Coursebox, you can just publish that, export it as a SCORM or a PDF or an HTML, and put that into your learning management system. So yeah, that's a really unique feature. I'm quite excited about that. We're still, working on refining it more and more. Then the question is, well, what do you do with the last 10% or 5% in some cases once the package is built 10 minutes later? You might want to spend, we estimate it takes another day and a half for a compliance sort of learning designer to go through that and polish up what are the missing bits, or customize it a little bit more to their RTO requirements. And we've got some documentation and procedural steps that you can go through to do that, or you can outsource it to our instructional designer who's very experienced at doing this. And she helps some of our RTOs complete that last little step. Or you could work with a company in Melbourne called Prickly to Sweet. They're pretty cool. There you go. There's a plug for Prickly to Sweet. They help you with that final compliance step once if you bought something off the shelf, which is always really dangerous, like a templated solution, and they say it's 100% compliant. It almost never is. You need to spend that last 10% of the time anyway, make it compliant. But then, yeah, that service Prickly to Sweet is really good because it just does a compliance check against what you've produced. Now, beyond that e-learning, it's all the stuff I talk about with once you've got your SCORM or you're delivering it through our LMS, because we're an all-in-one solution, right? So in 3 seconds, you can have an all-in-one solution live on Coursebox with your own domain name and theme and course builder and everything you want, everything I've described. Takes 3 to 5 seconds. It used to take a couple of weeks, and then it took an hour, and now it takes 3 seconds. So I'm very proud of that new infrastructure. And that's part of 2.0 as well. So there you go. There's the answer.
You're removing a lot of the pain, and I'm saying this pain because I've been living this day in, day out for the last 6-7 years. But as you know, every 5 years, these packages will be updated. There will be either minor updates, there will be huge updates, there will be superseded, there will be deleted. What happens then? I've already created something. Do I have to go through the whole thing again?
What you can do is you can export your e-learning as a PDF in Coursebox, or you can go back to the export packages I mentioned, and you can just create a course in 10 minutes. But you just upload all of your documents and you put in the prompt, what what do you want that's different? And you go to the website and you check what the changes are, and you copy that link and you paste it in, or you just literally go to the new link, copy that, and build a fresh package, because it only takes 10 minutes. But then, obviously there's a bit of finessing to make sure it's compliant.
So, if the goal is to make Coursebox the world's easiest way to deliver engaging learning online in any language, right? What's the hardest part that is still left to solve? Because if you were
For
already
us,
international, right? What is the
yeah,
hardest part now?
the hardest part at the moment. What's the hardest part at the moment? Well, it's probably that next step that we're working on currently, to do the deep referencing research piece and so on. But that's all achievable. It's not crazy. We're also building out the MCP, but we just work in priority order, releasing each version. Getting to 2.1 was like moving a mountain. And moving the new infrastructure from OVH to Google into this incredible new architecture over a 12-month project, that was mind-bogglingly difficult, but we've got there. We're here. So a lot of the hard work is out the way. What have we got? 1,600 clients. I guess the next question is, how do we go from 1,600 to 16,000? That's what I think about as a co-founder and CEO, just scaling this up and still providing that same quality of service and support. And that's what our aim is.
Now, I know this is the question for every startup and every CEO who is in charge of a product and a team of people. How do you sleep at night?
I didn't sleep very well last night, actually. I woke up, but partly because, my wife's very pregnant. So maybe that's part of it. And raising around as well. So that takes a lot of effort. So, but yeah, I obsess over the customer problem, because it's also my customer problem. Like, I really, really enjoy this. And I also enjoy playing with all the tools and all the different AI models as well, to see how far we can push this. And at the moment, which is such an exciting time. Even when I drive my Tesla and have a chat with Grok, I'm like, this is so surreal. It's like talking to Kit when I was 10.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought about this 10 years ago, that you would have self-driving cars. You will have I remember when I grew up, and probably you remember too, Knight Rider, Kit. Remember that car?
That's what I was referring to, Kit.
We grew up in that era. David Hasselhoff. Do you remember the Hoff? With the turbo boost and everything. That was amazing. So you have that in our lifetime, has become a reality.
Mm-hmm.
We have now tools in our disposal that we wouldn't even dreamed of. And everybody now is obsessed with the speed and with everything is being built. Are we compromising quality by moving so fast, Travis?
Are we compromising quality? I guess it depends on what the task is and what the application is. What's an example? I think one thing that's interesting, and I've done this recently with my emails, because we do automate so much with AI, and then we refine it and we check it and we're like, make it more human, simplify it. But every now and again, I'm like, oh my God, bugger this, I'm writing an email myself. And I've started writing a disclaimer. No AI was used in this human email by me. And it's actually got to that point that when you get an email like that, you're like, oh, so nice, they actually wrote this.
It reminds me of emails. You used to get emails with your name on it, Dear Evan, and then the rest of it was just a generic email that was sent to everybody. But just by seeing Dear Evan on top of it, it makes it more personalized. This is what it's all about, is the human connection that we are trying. And I think you said it in the beginning. It's the outcome. What is deliverables? What are you promising to your learners to take away? Because everybody will use AI, but what are the skills that we're embedding into them in order for them to go out there in the vocational setting, which isn't it why we're here? This is why we're doing what we're doing, Travis?
Yeah, well, why are we educating and training people in the first place? It's because we care about somebody trying to upskill or learn more, and we feel like we're the person to do that. And it's wonderful when you do see knowledge transfer. I actually learned to fly a plane recently. I only did 10 lessons. But when I was doing those 1 hour lessons flying a plane, I remember saying to my wife afterwards, I was like, oh my God, perhaps for the first time in a long time, I felt my brain like growing. I could feel myself learning. And that was a bit strange. You could almost feel the neurons connecting and all that. Because it was just such an uplift in learning so rapidly. So yeah, why? So that's a good example of a pilot training me how to fly a plane and not crash it.
I'm interested more about how do you find time to fly a plane in the busy schedule? How do you fit that all in with everything that's happening?
It's got a lot busier, actually. This was a couple of years back. Yeah. I don't have time now, and that's why I needed 10 hours. At one point, I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I just don't have the time. Yeah, it's crazy. I sometimes
So,
get up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'll start checking all of the automated support that we've given through the night, and I'll check 30 messages, make sure that it's actually accurate and correct, and that'll could take an hour or so, or a couple of hours even to do that. But that's that human touch you're talking about. I'm like, Travis here, I'm just checking in. This is the actual answer, or that's, let me know if you need any more help. And that's what I mean by obsessing over the customer problem. I'm really still on the front lines at the coal face, working with customers day in, day out around the world in all these different languages. Like, I've got to always constantly translate it in, translate it out. So, but you really get a very good feeling for where you're solving the problem, where the gaps are. And then I can talk to the team through the rest of the day, and I end up working through till about 9 p.m. every day. So it is a very long day, but I give myself breaks during that day. But yeah, and that's weekends as well. It's public holidays. I just obsess with this problem. I love solving it, and I get a bit bored if I'm not doing it, actually.
it's one of the things that entrepreneurs at that level are so obsessed with solving that problem. But I just wanted to know, how do you take care of your body? How do you take care of yourself? Because it seems like you're working a lot and you have a lot on your plate. It's not only the customers that you're talking about. That's great. Customer service, very important. But also you're the leader of a team. You're leading a team here in Australia, and I'm guessing around the world as well. How do you take care of yourself, your body and mind, in order for you to function and operate at that level?
Yeah, I think over the years I've developed a very strong sense of inner calm, inner peace. I don't know.
Meditation?
I don't know. This is my meditation. Yeah, I love solving difficult problems, and that's how I'm not bored. But with health, yeah, it's tennis for me. And more recently, I've started playing with my tennis mates paddle, which is, I call it like soft tennis or simpler tennis or something. It's basically the same rules, but you're hemmed in by glass. And that's a really good release for me, tennis. And I still got a coaching, and my team, we go and get a professional coach once a week. Or going for walks, going to the cafe, and the hobby the last few years has been to build my own house and design it, do all the architectural planning, working with the planners, project management. So I was always that was my release actually the last few years, but that's finished now. And I'm like, I said to my wife, for the new place, I'm like, might have to do some modifications.
It never stops, does it, Travis?
No.
It never stops. All right, so let me just bring you back to our conversation with the trainer, because this is a trainer. Like, if I had this five years ago when I was starting my career, I would be at a much better practice right now as a trainer and assessor. But if any trainers are listening right now and they've never used AI before, it's just the first time, in their course design process, what is the one thing that you would let them try first with Coursebox AI? What is the first thing that you go in and say, okay, there you go, take it for a test drive?
Yeah, definitely just go to coursebox.ai and try the free version. So you just sign up, immediately you get 3 free courses. You can play around with the AI, put in a prompt, maybe just keep it a simple prompt for a small micro learning or something. Play around with that design. You can keep chatting at the outline, high level design stage. And then when you're happy with that, click generate, and you'll see the course is basically immediate. I saw this documentary TV show about the Spotify. It's called The Playlist, which if anybody hasn't seen it, it is amazing, really worthwhile. And the founder there, he was so annoyed that you type in play Beethoven Symphony and it would take 0.25 of a second before it played. And he's like, no, I can perceive there's a gap. Your job is, there should be no gap, and they actually had to reinvent the way that data transferred on the internet to be able to do it. I think it was lossless traffic light sort of system. And they're like, no, I don't care if we lose a little bit of data, and got it down so it's imperceptible. Humans can't perceive. Once you click play, it plays immediately. So we're trying to go with that same sort of approach, that it's doing a lot of stuff in the back end, trying to guess what's the best thing, so that when you click generate, the course is immediately there in front of you on page 1, ready to go. Wow. At least the first page. And then it's still, in the back end, still doing page 2, 3, 4, and so on. But that's a bit of a wow factor. We get a lot of wows from just that. And I think that's a good approach.
No, I can really testify to that, because I've been playing with it and I can see, and the quality that comes out is amazing.
You can keep refining it really easily. Yeah, one problem with Claude, if you try and build a static course or a SCORM course, is you have to go through that whole process again and re-prompt it, and it's quite technical. Whereas this, you just go to page 7, click the edit button on that little block, change the word, and it auto saves, and that's that. And it's already live in 3 LMSs. You don't have to think about it. Also, that 10-minute time frame I was talking about, when you're building those courses, you can literally just click share, just like you're on Canva or sharing a presentation. And then there's a little pop-up and you type in somebody's email address and they have immediate access. Or you can upload a spreadsheet of users, or you can use our Zapier connection and automate it, or you can use our Shopify, So there's a lot of ways. Once it's ready to go, you can just start using it.
You talked about customer service, and it's very important for you. And you take pride on talking to people, you personally being the face of the company, which is something that I think your clients will value. I would value as well.
Yeah.
So if I have a problem with Coursebox and if I have a question, what do I do? Where do I go?
On your screen, there's a little question mark pop up. So you click on that. Then there's a little chat. So you start chatting. You'll get an immediate response 24/7 using our automated chatbot. But when I'm awake or our team are awake, we'll log in and have a look at all of the chats and work our way through and see how well that chat's gone. And then we'll jump in with a bit of a human touch, and if we have to, we'll correct it. Or and I'm also constantly training it. So I'm using a Claude API integration, so that every 20 minutes, Claude actually checks everything for me. Then it sort of brings in its hammer approach with pulling in much more information related to the user, so it's very personalized. It's actually getting to the point where people are saying, thanks, Travis, incredible how fast you responded, and with so much detail. And meanwhile, I've just woken up looking at it, and we go, oh, did I? Great. But we underneath, it doesn't say it's from Travis. It says this was generated, blah, blah, blah. And Travis will check it. But it's not just me. There's me. There's Carolina, our instructional designer. She's helping a lot with support. Alex, my co-founder, jumps in, and Tony, our CTO, usually at the more technical enterprise level. If we need to do a big integration piece, he'll jump in. And he speaks Spanish. He's from Spain, so he helped us close a major client in Mexico, a big airport, in just a couple of phone calls with him. So he's incredible. And we've got a big partnership we're working on at the moment in Europe, and that'll come out soon as well.
Travis, what about the future? Right, we're here now. We're traveling so fast. AI is changing everything around us. Yeah. What do you see in the next, I would say 10 years, but it's too long. What do you see in next year or so?
Well, I can tell you what we're doing. We talked about the jump from 1 to 2, and what's Coursebox 3? We'll probably be doing an overhaul, a rewrite from scratch, using an agentic AI orchestration approach. And that will help us go much faster each time we are iterating new versions at scale in more and more modern tech stacks. So that's one thing we'll be doing. What's the end result, though? It's going to be a holistic AI learning delivery platform or learning management system, but it's much more than that. it creates experiences on the fly that are highly personalized to the learner. So we're going deeper down that. So we've got our chatbot tutors, but the tutors at the moment don't pull in all of your historical records from all of your LMSs and all that data. So we're going to be building out those connections optionally. And then it's going to really personalize it. And then instead of it being that I ask my tutor for a bit of help with the section of learning, the tutor's going to kind of put its hand up like a real coach would and say, hey, I know you struggled with this previously. Here's some tips and guidance, and ask me. And actually, it'll be able to build out a micro learning on the fly in the page.
Wow.
So we're going much more into that direction. So sort of sub courses at the personalization level. I call this thing a break my brain activity, which is, I say you don't want to just always create templated e-learning. It has to be highly bespoke to the learner each time to a degree. Not every time, but sometimes, especially at the page level, you could build out these highly engaging interactions almost you can do it on the fly, or you could pre-program it for your 10 top salespeople to learn this particular skill. But to do that, they have to upload, let's say, 10 transcripts of their last 10 recorded sales calls. And so the output of those break your brain or custom interactivities can have quite resounding impact. And that's kind of how I've been playing around with some AI features as well, just as a one-off. Break my brain, I said to Claude recently, and gave it my some transcripts, and it gave me some incredible insights. So I think that's where it's moving, and it's a holistic, agentic, orchestrated AI beast. That's where we're going.
I'm going to steal that, Travis. Break my brain.
Okay, cool.
You open yourself up to be surprised, to be challenged, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it might hurt a bit, but you're actually going to learn. And usually learning does hurt a bit, just like when you're a baby and you fall over.
But it is. That's how we learn as humans, right? We need to be able to put in practice what we've learned, to break my brain, to be open to the possibilities of what these tools can do for us in the future, now and in the future.
Yeah.
Travis, I know you're a busy man. I know that we spent almost an hour now. But in conclusion, right, if I am a young trainer starting now in the RTO world, or even if I am in an L&D, in organizational, that I am working with HR, trying to build inductions or trying to build different programs that will match my company, what is your advice?
I think the main thing is, and I think perhaps younger people are better at this than some of us older people, which is don't be scared that the AI is going to replace you. It's there anyway. Use it as a tool, just like the calculator when it came out. Use it as a tool to massively scale up what you can offer in your role. And it's going to be expected of you anyway. So you might as well embrace it and go for it. And, there's this talk at the moment, you should be cutting back on junior hires at, the big firms. You don't need junior developers. I don't think that's actually true. I think you need them more than ever because they're the most likely to be able to leverage these tools and 3x what they can deliver as a junior developer faster, grow with it, and grow within your company, and perhaps bring that agility of youth to the table as well.
Travis, it's been amazing. Thank you for joining me today and sharing your insight.
Awesome. Thanks very much.